is a Bramble Jam podcast.
Welcome to Girls Gone Hallmark, a Hallmark review podcast. I'm Megan, and I'm a longtime Hallmark movie fan.
I'm Wendy. I'm a former Hallmark hater.
Today, we are doing something I'm not actually sure we've ever done before, and we are counting down our top 5 movies from the holiday season. Not really fair to call them the top 5 countdown to Christmas movies, because you got Miracles of Christmas thrown in there, Hallmark Plus movies, just the Hallmark holiday.
Mm-hmm. I'm very happy we have come to a conclusion on the end of the season. It's been a long time. Guys, we've been reviewing these movies
For 2.5 months.
Yeah, I'm ready for Christmas to be over. I'm ready for some new, fresh January movies.
It was a fun season. We went on the cruise. We went to Kansas City. We got to do a ton of fun interviews, but it felt like we crammed 6 months worth of work into 10 weeks.
Yeah.
That being said, I want to talk to you about your feeling about this holiday season overall on Hallmark.
That's a hot topic right now.
Yeah, and I think we feel differently about it.
I feel it was very meh. It was very...
Like, compared to last year, what are you basing that on?
It's not compared to last year. I came into the season with high expectations. Are you recording me right now?
No, I'm
Okay.
scrolling back to last year's Christmas movies just to see how many I'm like, oh my God, that was an amazing movie. You know what I mean?
I came into this season with high expectations because it was the 15th anniversary of Countdown to Christmas. I thought they were going to pull out all the stops, and maybe they did, and those stops didn't work for me. If I compared this year to last year, I think there were movies last year that still stand out to me. One being like the gold standard, like the best Hallmark movie ever made.
A Bit More Christmas.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I think I wouldn't even say let's try and top that, right?
I cannot compare other movies to that. So really, truly this year did not try to say oh, this is the expectation.
Yeah.
I wasn't doing it. I wasn't rating our movies that way, to be clear. But in my mind, I'm like, that's the best movie I've ever seen.
Yeah, so that's really interesting because when I look at last year as a whole, I think this year as a whole is stronger. When I look at last year in terms of the standout movies, like A Bit More Christmas, like Round and Round, which is truly spectacular, I don't know that there's movies that stand up to those this year.
Give me a third movie from last year that stands out to you.
The Santa Summit,
Okay, fair.
Catch Me If You Claus.
Yes.
You didn't love Hall at the Holly Lit Up. It didn't stand up to the first one, but it was a fun ride.
I don't remember not liking it. I love that ensemble cast.
The original is still one of my favorites. I love Hall at the Holly. It hits for me. Christmas Island last year.
I liked Christmas Island
I
last
know
year.
you did. Mystic Christmas.
I liked Mystic Christmas last year too. Okay.
We did do more reviews this year than we have ever done in the past. And I just think that for me, the overall number of enjoyable, watchable movies is higher. But again, it just depends how you're comparing them.
Okay. Next topic. Let's talk about things that you missed from this season of Hallmark movies.
Oh, did I miss anything? Did you miss anything?
Diversity.
Oh.
Yes, I did. A same-sex lead couple? Yes, I did.
Yeah, don't bury it all on Hallmark Plus. I 1000% agree with you. I was thinking in terms of storytelling. I heard people saying they felt like the storytelling wasn't as creative this year. And I just disagree. I do think the storytelling, there's a lot of uniqueness here. But you're right. The big miss is diversity. No mahogany movie, no same-sex lead couples, a fair amount of same-sex supporting couples, but it does feel like a step backwards in some ways.
Large steps backwards.
So Wendy and I made our top 5 list, and it turns out they're identical.
Yes, they are.
So we have a shared top 5 list. I'm kind of surprised by that.
Can we rank these?
All right. Of your list, which one would you give the number 5 spot to? I know what I would do.
Santa Tell Me.
Me too. Now, it's not a knock.
Freaking love Santa Tell Me.
Santa Tell Me was great. Here's what I loved about it. Lots of humor with the 3 Nicks. So funny. Benjamin Ayers really brings it. Daniel Lissing is super duper hot.
Mm-hmm.
I also loved the holiday magic, this magical Santa letter.
Me too.
I really needed some of that suspension of disbelief holiday magic.
agree.
And Aaron Krakow is just as cute as can be. I'm sorry we don't watch When Calls the Heart. It's 77 seasons in and we could not possibly catch up. And I'm going to be honest, it doesn't feel like my kind of show.
I hate a period piece. So
I know you do. I mean,
know how I would even hang.
I do kind of want to watch it to just like, you know, be a part of the moment. Nevertheless, that's not what we're talking about. Santa Tell Me, I thought was very fun.
Yeah, shout out to Ryan Landells.
Big year. Breakout Hallmark writer and director. We were big fans of his projects this year.
Mm-hmm.
Come on the podcast to chat with us, Rand Landells. We would love that. I think he has a unique take because we don't see a lot of writer-director combos in our Hallmark
Yeah.
movies. And I'd love to know how that all came to be. He's like, yeah, I wrote it. Also, I'm going to direct it.
But bam! I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what is your number 4 then?
All right. If I have to pick a number 4 from this list, my number 4 is going to be the Santa Class.
I agree.
That's hard for me. I really loved the Santa Class.
Me too. Again, Benjamin Ayers killed it in this movie.
Kimberly Sustad is always a star. She and Ben have like fire hot chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
The cast of Santa characters hit more for me than it did for you. I thought there was some really funny writing. The overcompensation mobile makes me laugh so hard. The fact that his 7-seater SUV makes me laugh even harder.
Yeah.
It's great. And again, Santa magic.
Santa magic. I love the montages. When Santa gets his memories back, it's the greatest, one of the greatest scenes I've seen this year. It like made me choke up.
When Kim as Kate is trying to show Santa like that he's magical and
Yeah.
she takes the Santa
Yeah.
bag to him and she's like, wish for something. And he pulls out a cookie and it's
I know, it's
just- Yeah.
Shout out Lucy Guest for directing.
Lucy Guest.
Another woman who's having a standout year.
In case anybody is like checking our work and they're like, your rankings don't match up with how you rated these movies. I would like to remind everybody that this podcast operates on pure vibes only. And this top 5 is like a looking back on the year. How did we feel about these overall? Let's go to our number 3 movie.
For me, it was Sugar Plumbed.
Yeah, Sugar Plumbed was a 5-star movie for me, as were my top 3 movies. I think the one thing I missed from it, and it's funny that I say this, is like it doesn't have a love story.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny? Where we're like, doesn't always have to be a love story. I think only Hallmark could make this movie effectively.
Sure. There was Christmas magic in it.
I thought Janelle Parrish was
So
so
good.
fun.
So good.
I thought in many ways it was like a little bit introspective, like, you know, moms of teenagers
It
trying
felt-
to make holiday magic.
It felt very relatable to us, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it. And while it didn't have like your typical romance, it did have like that romance or connection between like Maggie Lawson and her husband.
Yeah. Reconnection.
Yes.
Mhm.
Which is, I think, very relatable to a lot of relationships. So
We also get a cameo from Wowie Zowie Webster
that's right.
and a Carlo Marx cameo.
Yes. Tons of fun little things about it. I
Yeah.
really want a sequel from this one.
Yeah. Is Sugar Plum going to go bring magic to other families?
I was literally driving down the street from like the grocery store thinking about it the other day, going, like, wouldn't it just be so great? They'd just be like sugar plumbed in some other neighborhood. I don't know, with another
like
family.
finding a widow who's
Oh my God.
having a hard time finding holiday magic.
Ryan, write that. That would be so good.
Mhm.
That would be good. Okay, let's talk your number 2.
My number 2, speaking of Lucy Guest, is Jingle Bell Run.
This is where we're flip-flopped.
Interesting.
My number 1 is Jingle Bell Run. My number 2 is Christmas Quest.
All right, so
So-
Christmas Quest is my number 1.
Let's talk about Jingle Bell Run.
You know, we gushed about this movie. Ashley Williams and Andrew Walker were such a nice pairing.
Mm-hmm.
Ashley Williams herself said Andrew Walker was her favorite on-screen kiss.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. It's heartfelt. It has a pretty well done competition show baked in.
I think so.
I mean, it's a
Keeps me
show within a
entertained.
show. And I think those pieces in our review, we said like the number of sets they used, and it was a huge number. I think they really executed that show within the show. Like we've seen a lot of ways in which they've tried to like,
New Year's resolution. Yep.
yeah, it doesn't always work.
It doesn't work.
It looks like kind of low budget. And
Backyard, low budget games.
this felt real to me.
Yeah.
I thought it was really well executed. Great animations.
Oh, great animations. I'm just telling you, I think there are like 2 or 3 standout scenes in this movie. One is their slow dance, and the way he dips her is so memorable. The other one is when they're like have this almost kiss and he sees the camera filming them and stops. So good.
And like she says, like she doesn't move away from his face. She's like, I'm gonna go to bed now. Like still real close in kissing position and walks away.
Yeah, it's so good. And like my favorite scene is when she finds the bell or the
slow
gift,
motion.
the slow motion, and she's ringing it. And man, the way I just was overcome with like excitement. I love this movie.
Yeah.
I just love it. It just hits for me all the boxes. Now let's talk about your number one.
Well, my number one is Christmas Quest. It's a tight race. Christmas Quest and Jingle Bell Run are very different movies. And I think maybe I put Christmas Quest in the number one spot because it's more of a serious movie.
Oh, okay.
This is like we talked about how like comedies never win the Oscars.
Yeah.
So maybe my brain just ranked it higher because of that. I thought it was really beautiful to watch. The scenery is beautiful. Lacey and Chris look great. I think they both bring a higher level of acting to their performances.
Another great pairing too.
Yeah, real great pairing. Again, I love these not first love storylines.
Me too.
You know, they're revisiting their romance. You know, I saw some criticism about this movie and they're like, they were together for all this time and they couldn't make it work. Why are they making it work now? I don't care. They seem to understand each other now and I'm here for it.
Well, we just finished recapping holidays. Robert and Linda get back together.
Yeah, they've been divorced for 3 years.
I mean, sometimes
Y'all, I follow a woman on TikTok who like, I don't know what ended her marriage, but like her marriage was ended. They were fully legally divorced and she and her husband are not getting back together. Life happens.
Yeah. Can I shout out Keith Nielsen too? I love the costuming in this freaking movie.
Mhm.
All the like, well, of course her big moment dress is great in this movie, but the like cool, like edgy stuff that we've never seen Lacey in before, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I feel like she gets dressed in like sweet things.
Yeah.
Real soft and feminine, and I loved like the angles and the colors. She was wearing a lot of black in this movie.
Yeah.
You know, if you haven't listened to our interview with Keith Nielsen, this isn't a plug for us. I think it's so interesting to hear the way he approaches it and how he talks about costuming.
Yeah.
It's really fascinating. You should go give that episode a listen. In making our list of top 5, there are some that got left off, obviously, like 40 of them. So we each have an honorable mention. What's yours?
My honorable mention is A Carol for Two
Great choice.
with the sexiest jawline on Hallmark.
Oh my gosh. Jordan Litz.
Yeah. I love the singing. I love the story. I love the old-timey, like New York feel of it all, even though it wasn't like old-timey, it was current day, but like,
Yeah, it has that vibe.
yeah, I just loved it. Loved it.
My honorable mention is 'Twas the Date Before Christmas. I could have honestly had 5 honorable mentions, but 'Twas the Date Before Christmas felt like the most classically Hallmark movie we got of the entire season. And it also was really well executed. Amy Graining and Robert Buckley, not Jr., were a great pairing together. I would love to see more of them. I'm so glad that Amy Graining got her lead role.
Yeah.
She was really fun. This was just like it's a Christmas Eve, Christmas Day situation. And we had like mild family drama and a mild misunderstanding and some holiday hijinks activities. It was fun.
I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think listeners are wondering how we left Three Wiser Men and a Boy and Holiday Touchdown off of our list. And I just remembered Leah's Perfect Gift, too. I love that movie.
But what I'm saying is like, this is what I'm saying about this year, though. If we were going to make a top 10, would Holiday Touchdown make your list? Three Wiser Men probably would make mine. The Finish Line might make my list. Deck the Walls might make a top 10 list. Christmas with the Sings. I think there's what I'm
Christmas
telling
with the
you.
Sings. Yeah.
I think there's a lot to like this year, is what I'm saying.
Okay, I hear you. You have made your argument, counselor.
We'd love to hear your top 5. Wendy's going to be sharing these on Instagram. Drop in and let us know what you love. Feel free to yell at us if you disagree with our opinions. And you can always hop into our Facebook group where we're going to be asking people to share their top 5 lists of the year. We are Girls Gone Hallmark on Facebook and we are Girls Gone Hallmark on Instagram. If you love top 5s, come back next week where we will be counting down our top 5 movies of the year. And we're also kicking off The Way Home, y'all.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
Have a great weekend. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
All right, friends, before we go, just a quick heads up. You're about to hear some ads. These little gems help us keep the show running and the Hallmark love flowing. So do with that info what you will. Grab a snack, hit the skip button, or maybe, just maybe, listen in and discover your new favorite product. Bye.